happy hump day, happy final week of phase 1 of Belvital. I know we've already been in the final week, but today we start our last bit of carb deplete. So yes, we have a 5-day deplete, which is a little bit more challenging. I totally get it. I've done it more than one time, but this is the last little bit of this phase. And remember, all the reasons why we're doing this. The whole point of phase 1 is to really start to work on rebalancing blood sugar and insulin levels. Obviously, there's so many other things happening in phase 1 as well with cortisol and rebalancing that as well. But a major component of phase 1 is insulin and blood sugar regulation. And obviously, because of the way so many of us eat and without even realizing it, we end up with this excessive amount of carbohydrates, added sugars in our diet, which ends up to imbalanced blood sugar and insulin resistance. And so this is this last little piece that's helping to balance that back out before we then go on to phase 2 into just lower carb, right? We're gonna start to bring those carbohydrates back in because I do not want you to fear carbohydrates. There's nothing wrong with carbohydrates. Our body needs them to function at optimal levels. Like I've said before, some people probably function a little bit better with lower carbs, whereas some of us are gonna function better with a little bit more carbs in our diet because of bioindividuality. So there is that, but we are gonna start to bring them back in. So I don't want you to fear it. And I talk about this in the guidebook. I explain how glycogen in the body works and obviously how there's going to be a little water weight. So if you happen to see the scale go up a pound or a pound and a half next week, we're not going to fear it. It doesn't mean you've gained a pound of body fat. It's the water coming back in because we're bringing in a little bit more carbohydrates. It doesn't mean that you're going to not continue to lose weight as we go on this journey. You will, as long as you continue to follow the program. But I talked about it in Monday's workout, the hybrid workout with Pilates and lower body, where the level of effort you put in is going to equal the level of result that you get back. So I know in phase 1, when people first start the program, you're so excited and you're going all in and you're doing all the things. But I've also seen that over time, we can start to settle in and go, oh yeah, I got it. I don't need to use the containers anymore. Or I don't need to look at what my container count is. Or, oh, oops, I forgot I'm not supposed to have that. Or, oh, I missed a workout, no big deal, I'll get to it next time, right? And we go from all in to I'm in, to I'm sort of in, and then by the end, maybe you're not really giving it your all and you're not seeing or feeling as well as you were, and you start to think, well, oh my gosh, I have to carb deplete in order to ever lose weight or feel good or anything like that. That's not the case. It's the level of effort you gotta put in, because I want you to remember how you felt in week 1, right? Week 1, I barely tweaked your carbs. We just cleaned up the nutrition. We took out the inflammatory foods. We started working on our breath work and working on the exercise, changing our workouts up a little bit, right? So they're not beating the heck out of our body. And so many of you shared just in the first week how much better you were feeling. So I go on that little tangent just to say that once we get through these next 5 days, I don't want you to fear adding the carbs back in. Get excited about it, embrace it. I think I talked about this in a video the other day. Y'all, we're all human. So I'm gonna need you to allow me to be human and understand that sometimes typos and mistakes happen. And this guidebook is huge. So there is a printing error in it. I have looked at these charts a million times over. It happened. Also, these charts, there was about 6 different versions of them, and you gotta remember how many charts there are over the last 2 years, because I kept tweaking the program. Okay, wait, let's do this, let's adjust it here, let's do that. So all of that is to say, a few of you have asked me about this, so you guys did catch a typo, that on our low carb days in phase 1, on our low carb days, our tan column, Plan A said half of a purple, and then Plan B said 2. And everybody's like, why is there such a huge discrepancy? Like, why is there such a big jump from Plan A to Plan B? It was supposed to be 1.5 purples. So they missed the number 1 there. So keep that in mind when we go on to phase 2. What's in phase 2 is correct. I apologize, but you guys, also that one purple, that's a difference of 60 calories in your day, and it's like half a percentage point in terms of the macronutrient. Like, it might have taken you from 25% carbs to like 24.5% carbs. It's not going to do anything in terms of results. If anything, it helps you deplete a little bit more. I know, not as fun. People would have loved to have had that purple, and I apologize. It just happens sometimes. You know, we have people that go through the book over and over, and we try to catch everything, but there was a couple things that just didn't get caught. So that was that for phase 1, and then the only other thing in phase 2, and just so you know, we are working on our end to correct this. We're going to update it online, and we are going to send out an email to anybody that's bought the program, just to let them know, like, hey, depending on where you're at, this is what needs to be changed. The other thing that I caught was in phase 2 on the teaspoons. Plan A should be 6.5 teaspoons. Plan B should be 7. Plan C should be 8. Plan D should be 9. I'm going to post that in here in a separate post. I'm just going to take a screenshot of this so that regular plan phase 2, you guys will see the teaspoons. And again, if you didn't end up adjusting to these, we're talking about 30 calories and a percentage point of fat that you would be off. So it's not going to make or break your results. I think somebody looked at an old chart when they were doing this or got mixed up, and that's why it didn't get caught. So anyways, I just wanted to give you those couple updates. I wanted to tell you, keep pushing along. Everybody's doing amazing. I love seeing what you're sharing. If you have questions over these next 5 days, use this video, post them on here, and let's keep going. Good morning, ladies. Happy Friday. We're almost there. We're almost to the end of the second week of carbs.